PIDtoolbox is a free open source program to help tune and troubleshoot multi-rotors. I'm going to show you how to download it, install it, run it, and solutions to some of the most common problems. So this is the first of a series of videos called PIDtoolbox 101. There's also new additions to the software coming soon, so stay tuned for that and subscribe for all the latest updates. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the GitHub repository where you can download PIDtoolbox. It's going to scroll down to the download section, click on here. This is going to take you to the latest releases. The latest release currently here is version 0.392. You're just going to scroll down and select the operating system that you want to install it on. If you do have MATLAB, you can run the program directly from the command window using the actual source code here. So obviously I've already installed this, but you're going to navigate to where you downloaded it and you're going to unzip it and go into the folder. If it's your first time installing PIDtoolbox, you're going to have to install MATLAB Runtime. This is a pretty hefty program, so sit tight. It's going to take a while. The good news is, if you're already running an existing version of PIDtoolbox, but you want the latest version, all you need to do is replace your old program file with this one. That's it. So I'm running this on a Mac, so you're just going to go ahead and start your program. So before we run a log file, there's a couple of things you need to know. Blackbox decode has to be in the same folder as your log files. So if you have a separate folder for different log files, copy a version of this program into each of those folders. There's no simple way around this because Blackbox decode decodes the original .bbl files into a file that's readable by PIDtoolbox. What I usually do is just drop my log files in here and name them appropriately. But if you want to put them in a separate folder, you have to make sure Blackbox decode is in there with them. The second piece of advice is if you're logging using the flight controller's flash drive, often there will be a number of empty files that just get collected there. You want to delete the drive before heading out to fly and collect more log files because Blackbox decode, at least as it currently works, only decodes the first 30 files. So files 31 and up won't be accessible. Also, sometimes when there's a bunch of blank files in there, it sometimes messes up PIDtoolbox's ability to link the proper log file with the proper header. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and select the file. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this file and the second file and go ahead and run that. So this is the main log viewer interface. So what you're looking at here is the top three panels are for log A, log file A, and the bottom three panels are for log file B. These gray regions here denote the area that's not going to be analyzed. So if you want to analyze a smaller subsection of the data, you can change these windows by changing the start and end points right here. So if you look up here, you can see all of the different traces that you can plot within each of these windows. So you got here pre-filtered gyro in light gray, gyro in black, P-term, I-term, D-term, and so on. If I want to look more closely at either one of these panels, I simply click on the white space and it opens it up into a bigger view. So if I want to zoom in on a portion of this data, in the Mac, it highlights these little icons up in the corner of each of the panels. By clicking the plus magnifier, I can then come down here and zoom in on a subsection of the data. I can change the width of the lines with this drop down. And if I want to look closely at the data, I can assign a data tip by clicking this and simply clicking on a portion of the line. And it shows you time in seconds from the start of the log and degrees per second. If I want another data tip, I can just use the right mouse. I can use the right mouse button, create new data tip. And then you can look at, for example, the time lag between these two signals. In this case, it's 10 milliseconds. When I want to come back out of this, I have to unselect that and then click in the white space again. To save a figure, on each panel, there's always a save figure button. You simply click that and it saves the entire output of this space. And the rest of these open up different windows for different tools. There's also a button here that takes you to the GitHub wiki, and it's there you'll find lots more information about how to use the software. This is now a little bit dated, but there's still a lot of useful information in here, so go ahead and check that out. So although PIDtoolbox is mainly designed around Betaflight, as far as I know, the latest version will run log files from EmuFlight and INAV. But I can't promise this will always be the case as those firmwares continue to develop. Last thing I want to say is, if you're still having issues running PIDtoolbox, things like the program hanging at the splash screen or errors during loading that I haven't covered in this video, I'd recommend checking out the list of posted issues here on the GitHub site. Some solutions to the issues are reported by others in here, so keep these for future reference. If anybody has solutions to some of the reported issues, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could post it in the comments, and I'll be sure to pin them to the top of the list. So thanks. See you in the next one.